Rain arrives before breakfast, quietly, as if it knows the house is still half asleep and doesn't want to wake anyone too suddenly. It begins as a soft topping on the tin edge of the roof, then settles into a steady rhythm, gentle, patient, almost thoughtful. The world outside feels paused, wrapped in a thin gray veil. Street sounds are muted, even the birds seem to wait. Inside, the house breathes slowly. I wake before the alarm, the room dim and cool, the air carrying that unmistakable scent of rain-soaked earth drifting in through a slightly open window. The curtains move just enough to let the pale morning light slip through, painting the walls in soft silver. For a moment, I stay still, listening. Rain, a distant rickshaw passing, someone sweeping a yard nearby, the broom's bristles whispering against wet ground. The day hasn't started yet, and that's the best part. I slip out of bed carefully, not wanting to disturb the quiet. The floor is cool beneath my feet. In the hallway, family photos line the wall. Old smiles, faded colors, moments preserved in stillness. I pass them like familiar friends, offering a silent good morning. The kitchen greets me with its usual calm. Wooden shelves, slightly worn from years of hands reaching and returning. A kettle resting on the stove, waiting. The table sits at the center of the room, solid and dependable, its surface marked with tiny scratches that tell stories of meals shared, homework done, cups set down without coasters. I take a clean cloth from the hook by the sink. It's still a little damp from yesterday, cool and soft in my hands. Before doing anything else, before tea, before breakfast, I begin wiping the table. The cloth moves slowly across the wood, following the grain. There's a faint, comforting sound as moisture meets surface, a quiet shh that feels almost like breathing. I take my time, there's no rush. Outside, the rain keeps its steady pace, droplets sliding down the window in thin, wandering lines. As I wipe, memories rise gently, uninvited but welcome. Mornings like this from years ago. A smaller table, a different house. My mother humming softly while cutting vegetables. The smell of rice steaming. Someone else wiping, teaching without words that caring for small things is a kind of love. The kettle goes on next. I fill it with water from the tub, the sound clear and bright in the quiet kitchen. When the flame ignites, it flickers blue, steady and warm. Soon, the kettle begins its low murmur, a promise of comfort to come. I glance out the window. The garden looks washed clean. Leaves shine darker, fuller. A stray cat sits under the eaves, tail wrapped neatly around its paws, eyes half closed as it watches the rain fall. Somewhere, a crow calls once, then goes quiet again. I finish wiping the table and set the cloth aside. My hands smell faintly of soap and wood. I rinse them, dry them on an old towel that's grown soft with time, then reach for the tea jar. The lid makes a gentle pop as it opens. Dry leaves, curled and dark, release their earthy aroma. The kettle whistles softly, not urgent, just enough to be noticed. I pour the hot water over the tea, steam rising in lazy spirals. The scent fills the kitchen, warm and familiar. I add a little milk, a spoon of sugar, stirring slowly, listening to the soft clink against the cup. Before drinking, I set out another cup. Habit. Someone else will wake soon. Footsteps, just as expected. Slow, sleepy. My father appears in the doorway, rubbing his eyes, hair still tousled. He doesn't speak right away. He never does, not before tea. He just nods, a small smile forming as he notices the rain, the clean table, and the waiting cup. "Morning," he says finally, voice low. "Morning," I reply, sliding the cup toward him. We sit at the table, the wood still cool beneath our palms. The rain fills the silence between us, making conversation unnecessary. He takes a sip, exhales softly. Contentment has its own language. Soon, the rest of the house begins to stir. A door opens, someone coughs lightly. My mother joins us, wrapping her shawl tighter around her shoulders. She sets a small bowl of soaked lentils on the counter, already thinking ahead to lunch. "I'll make something warm later," she says, more to herself than anyone else. I nod, already imagining the smell of spices blooming in oil, the sound of mustard seeds popping like tiny fireworks. After tea, I step outside for a moment, onto the covered porch. The rain feels cooler here, the air fresh and alive. I check the potted plants, adjusting one that's leaned too far under the weight of water. My fingers brush against wet leaves, smooth and slick. The soil is dark, rich, grateful. A neighbor walks by with an umbrella, offering a quiet wave. Somewhere nearby, a radio plays softly, an old song, slightly distorted by distance and rain. Back inside, breakfast begins to take shape. I wash rice, the grains clicking gently against the metal bowl. My mother chops ginger, the sharp scent cutting through the air. Oil warms in the pan, releasing that first inviting shimmer. We move around each other easily, a practiced rhythm, passing spoons, reaching for salt, sharing space without words. The table, now clean and waiting, feels ready to hold another memory. As food cooks, I feed the cat outside, setting a small bowl near the door. It approaches cautiously, then eats with quiet focus, rain forgotten for a moment. Care is simple like this, small, enough. When breakfast is ready, we sit together, steam rising from plates. The rain softens, becoming a background hum. We eat slowly, savoring warmth, exchanging small observations about the weather, the plants, nothing urgent. Afterwards, dishes are washed, water runs, plates clink. The routine is soothing. I wipe the counter, then return once more to the wooden table, giving it a final gentle pass with the cloth. It gleams softly, catching the dim light. The day will move on soon. Work, errands, responsibilities waiting just beyond the rain. But for now, the world still sleeps a little longer. I sit by the window with my second cup of tea, watching the last droplets slide down the glass. The rain has done its work, cleansed, quieted, renewed. Inside, the house feels held together by warmth, by shared mornings, by the simple act of wiping a table while the world rests. And for this moment, that is enough.